chosen.
I came back to life after a long, black gap of what might have been a million years.
Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen.
I came back to life after a long, black gap of what might have been a million years.
Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen.
came back to life after a long black gap of what might have been a million years.
Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen. I came back to life after a long black gap of what might have been a million years. Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen. I came back to life after a long black gap of what might have been a million years. Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen. just want to be good. I want the rest of my life to be one act of goodness. I came back to life after a long black gap of what might have been a million years. Goodness comes from within. Goodness is chosen. I just want to be good. I want the rest of my life to be one act of goodness. I came back to life after a long black gap of what might have been.
Hey, what is up? How's it going? This is Matt from Morning Hookah. I'm the dude with coffee in one hand and a hookah in the other, but I haven't got my hookah set up quite yet because you guys are going to help me do that on today's episode of the Morning Hookah Show. That's right, we are live. We are live, and today is going to be a fantastic time. I can tell you right now, one of the big reasons why that is because I'm joined by a very special guest, somebody that I'm excited so much to have on the show. I've been on his show a couple of times. He's from literally the other side of the world. It is early morning for me, and he's already accomplished all the things he's gonna. No, I'm just kidding. It's the afternoon for him. It's crazy time and the way that it works. But today we are joined from somebody from the other side of the world. I hope to get plenty of people involved in this conversation because we're going to be talking about your hobby and mine, their hobby, everyone's hobby. We're going to talk to Shisha Central. It's just going to be a fantastic time. We're going to be talking about the UK market, the American market. Make sure to drop those questions. Obviously, we do have to do a little bit of house cleaning before we get into the show. Obviously, if you type in !enter right now, you have the opportunity to score yourself 100 bowls. And before you start freaking out and think, well, how many alpacas is that going to be? No, bowls are actually the cryptocurrency that we use right here on the Morning Hookah Show. It's your way to gain some points to use in our amazing point store that doesn't have anything besides shirts in it right now, but eventually we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff that you can earn these bowls for and then spend them for all sorts of things. It can be merchandise, it can be exclusive things that you can't find anywhere else. I'm telling you right now that there's going to be some really cool stuff there. And just a lot of opportunities to use it. There's also a lot of games that you can play as well. If you're interested in the things that you're able to do on the show, you can type in !commands and that'll bring up a whole list of stuff that you're able to do. But there's all sorts of fun and games that we're going to be talking about today as well. You can duel people, you can attack people, you can steal bowls from people. I mean, literally, the world is your oyster. You can think and you can do whatever it is you want to do from the comfort of your own home while you watch the show. Plus, don't forget, hit that like button. So important that you guys hit that like button. Let's smash that like button so the entire world knows that you like the content that we're doing right here on the show. And don't forget to share the video as well. Share it not only to the 5 hookah groups on Facebook that everyone shares everything to. I've already shared there. They know that this is happening right now. Let's put it that way. What I want you to do is find somewhere that you have not shared a video like this before. Share it to your mama, share it to your dada, share it to your above 21 age children in America. Also, if you're a boss and let's say you have like employees underneath you and like you can tell them what to do, I legally can't tell you to tell them to watch the show, but like, do the right thing. Do the right thing. All right, I've spent enough time vamping. We're going to go ahead and bring on our guest right now. So excited to have Adam from Shisha Central on the show. Please help me in a round of applause in welcoming Adam from Shisha Central. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing?
I'm great, Matt. Thanks for having me on the show. Really excited to get this interview started, man.
Yeah, man, this is going to be a good time. We're going to be talking about not only your stuff. We had an interesting idea for how we should do this interview, right? Because I'm from I'm from America. You're from the UK, and we have two pretty different markets in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely.
So instead of just me doing an interview of you, we're going to kind of do a back and forth where we're going to be asking each other questions.
Of course.
So I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. If you guys are in the chat right now, drop some questions inside your chat because we will definitely be taking different questions from there as well. And I don't know. Let's go ahead and get some things started. Get some, as they say, dry cleaning done, and ask you what it is you're smoking on today's episode of the Morning Hookah Show.
So today, guys, I've gone for something German. It's a fairly new brand called Hookah, I think is how you pronounce it.
I've seen that on Instagram a little bit and stuff, so I'm interested.
Yeah, a lot of the German hookah bloggers and European bloggers have been talking about it quite a lot, so I thought I'd give it a try. Initially tried it when I was in Spain a few months back. Thought it was great. So yes, blonde leaf tobacco, a lot of sweet flavors, so I thought I'd give it a try. And I'm smoking their white cake with green lean, which is like a sour desserty mix.
Ooh, that sounds pretty dang interesting, actually. That does not sound... there is very few cake mixes in the market for hookah, and the ones that I've tried usually are not usually all that great. I would say the best one that I've had is probably something like Gonzo cake from Dark Side. That is a fantastic cake, and also Sweet Comet is a great cake flavor. Yeah. Dark Side really has good, what's it called? Like, not savory flavors, but like desserty flavors and stuff.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, for sure.
Very good stuff.
I agree with that. What are you smoking?
So I'm not smoking right now. I actually need a little bit of help of deciding what it is I should be smoking on today's episode. And before some smartass in the comments tells me to do a bowl of straight Supernova, no. I did that already. I did that for you, the viewers at home, for the first episode of the live morning hookah show. So I'm not going to be doing another full bowl of Dark Side Supernova again. You guys are crazy if you think that I'd be willing to do that again. But I do want to smoke something. I was thinking about doing some Dark Side. I have a lot of Dark Side at my disposal. What are some of your favorite Dark Side flavors that you've had the opportunity to try?
So I go for cola and lemon blast when I do smoke Dark Side. Okay, That's been a good one. Also, I like Falling Star as well. And I like mixing a lot of the daily hookah flavors with Dark Side flavors as well. So, the ones that my go-to is cola and lemon blast. And I've also been on the mixed Dark Spirit with wild berries as well. So they're two good mixes you can try.
So I have not tried Dark Spirit. That's a flavor that I was hoping to get. So I get quite a bit of Dark Side. I've been able to try a lot of their flavors and stuff, but Dark Spirit has sadly been a flavor that I have not got to try. I have not tried Lemon Blast either. I don't have those ones. I'm definitely way more of a savory smoker. I love space dessert. I love mixing space dessert with nuts and cookie. I usually add a little bit of Supernova and stuff that I smoke. I like that cold chilling factor and stuff. Yeah. Somebody in the chat, Tanner right now, just said to smoke straight Basil Blast. No, Tanner. I'm not going to do that. One, I don't have any, and two, I liked Basil Blast. I was a fan of it. I thought it was a good mixing flavor and stuff, but it was not something that I see myself using in a regular rotation. This next week, I'm actually dropping a review of Falling Star, and in the review, I talk about Basil Blast because I mixed Falling Star with Basil Blast, but to me, pure mixing flavor and not something that I do too much overboard mixing with. Have you tried Basil Blast at all yet?
No, unfortunately, I haven't been able to try that flavor. Okay. How is it? What sort of profile does it have? A desserty, savory?
I mean, it's literally basil. Like, Like like literal, like it's not like sweet basil leaf or like basil juice, you know, like they make those like different waters and stuff and they have like basil flavoring or whatever and stuff. No, this is straight up basil. Like you could cook with this possibly if you threw it on some lasagna. just pop it in the pan, you have a tobacco lasagna with basil flavoring, I guess. I don't know, but it's literally basil and it's so interesting. Like I recommend everybody gives it a try. There is a brand called Trifecta. Have you had much experience with Trifecta yet?
Not that much. I did get some recently, so I've got peppermint shake.
Okay, that's a good one.
And a few other ones as well. Indian Kheer.
Indian Kheer is absolutely phenomenal. Now I've never had actual Kheer, so I could be completely wrong. But like to me, it's beautiful. It's a pudding. It's creamy. It's really sweet. It's very, very good. But they have a flavor. It's called Enigma. Have you heard of Trifecta Enigma yet?
No, I haven't seen it, to be honest.
So Trifecta Enigma is a basil flavor with a little bit of like mint and a little bit of like, I don't think it's oregano, but it's very earthy, very herby and a little minty and sweet. But the basil in that is like a basil, like a sweet basil, like a like not syrup because that's the wrong word, but it's like an interpretation of what basil would taste like if you made it into a flavoring. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So as roundabout as that could be and stuff, but like that's what it tastes like, which is not what Basil Blast is, because Basil Blast is literally just straight up basil flavoring. Dark Side also has another flavor. Have you heard of Cucumber Star?
No, I haven't heard of that one either. Yeah.
So this originally was a joke flavor. Everything that I've heard from talking to Dark Side is originally Cucumber Star was a joke flavor because everyone was joking about doing like a cucumber flavor. And I don't know if it was like for a reviewer or if it was for a blogger in Russia or something like that, but like they created this thing called Cucumber Star, and it is literally cucumber. Like I can't stress this enough to you that if you were to get cucumber mayonnaise and just like eat it straight from the jar, that's what this tastes like. And somebody out there probably loves this, but I couldn't.
Cucumber flavors. There've been quite a few cucumber flavors. I think the first one I ever saw was a haze.
Yes.
Back in the day, cucumberita or something like that.
But it's cucumberita. It's like minty and sweet and all those kinds of different. Like I have a Zor cool cucumber, and that one's pretty damn cucumbery as well. But like Cucumber Star is like if you just had cucumber mayonnaise. And it's not like I don't know. Maybe all these things are just like jokes that I just don't get, and I'm cool with admitting that. But like to me, I'm just not. I actually kept it. The Basil Blast that I had, I gave to a good friend. But Cucumber Star, I have it opened in a container, and I just keep it. And I'm gonna just I don't know if I'm gonna like hang it on the wall or something. Yeah. But like I can't give it away. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I own this part of history. Exactly. It's like on the conversation that we had with Jacob on Shisha Central when we were talking to Al Fokker, he had a Al Fokker pipe flavor, which is a pretty rare flavor.
Yeah, I've got a few flavors that I've just kept that I'll probably never smoke, and they're just sitting there just for show.
So while I strongly consider what it is I should be smoking at the moment, I would like to hear a brief introduction from you, if we could. If you could give us a little bit of your history, who you are, what it is you do, both on Instagram and YouTube, and also where people can find you and stuff. But yeah, give us, who is Adam from Shisha Central? Let me know.
So I started my journey for smoking hookah back when I was 14 years old. If any young people are watching this, make sure you don't smoke at 14. It's not good. But I started it when I was 14, had a few friends who lived on the same street as me and told me to visit a local shisha bar with them. So I did. And at the start, I wasn't really fond of shisha. I didn't really like it. I used to just go there because they were going there. But then the first hookah I properly tried myself was a grape and mint alfaka, old school double foil in a normal standard Kalima Moon. And after that, I fell in love, and a few years after that, I kept on smoking hookah, visited on a weekly basis. Then it became a daily basis to all different lounges and stuff, and smoked at home. And then about 4 years ago, I was sitting in a lounge with one of my friends, and we had a really bad experience. And I said to my friend, listen, we keep visiting these new hookah bars in London because the scene here, we have loads of hookah bars here. But then none of them are up to scratch to our standard, or none of them are up to our standard, to be honest, because they're using really bad products, fake flavors, customer service ain't good. So I said, you know what, there's no one in the UK or even the world that I had seen do lounge reviews, which are anonymous, which are literally like a mystery shopper. You go to a lounge, you take some photos, you review the atmosphere, the seating, the location, the customer service, and the shisha quality, and put a review out there. So I started off with that, and it gained traction real quick on Instagram. Got 1,000 followers in about 2-3 months, and then since then, been reviewing lounges worldwide. Reviewed over 350 lounges now in all different parts of the world. And then midway through, I said, you know what? Let me get onto the product stuff, because I buy so many products for home. Let me put my UK spin on it. So I started that about 2 years ago with the product side of things. And now I'm the go-to guy in the UK for anything shisha related. So that's how it started, off a desire to improve the shisha quality and give reliable information to shisha smokers. And people have seen that the honesty and transparency of my reviews, even though they may get me in trouble from time to time, they're all honest. And at the end of the day, honesty is the best policy. So
absolutely, that's awesome. That is a very cool. That is a story that one day we will be telling our grandchildren. The legacy and the history of Shisha Central. There was a man who came, decided no more of these hookah lounges that don't deserve. I think that's great. I wish that I had like a vibrant hookah scene in my area. I would love to go to like lounges and like review them and like do that kind of like, what's it called? Like on Instagram, like you do and stuff. I keep mainly to the product reviews for myself, obviously, because that's the easiest thing that I can get to me, obviously. I do some minor traveling. I go to Las Vegas. I go to California a little bit. Hopefully that changes and I'm able to do a little bit more traveling, if the world ever opens up again. Maybe not. I don't know. I'd love to come to the UK, hang out with you, and you could show me around at the best hookah lounges to go and visit. That would be the goal one day. So here's what I got to ask some people in the chat to do. If you guys are interested in asking questions to myself or Adam, here's the best way to go about it. The absolute best way to do it. Go to morninghookah.com. And the reason why I'm trying to tell you to go to morninghookah.com is because if you go there, two things. You can watch the show directly from the website, actually. And you can continue to comment as if you were watching it on YouTube. Very, very important. You can keep commenting. You can keep watching it. Plus, you can go and check out all sorts of things like the bowl count, which will show you who has the most bowls. You can also start looking at the loyalty store, which is where you're able to spend those bowls that you're earning right now. And then a couple other things. You can go check out the merchandise. Yes, I am going to do a self-plug. Come on, guys. I have to. It's important to plug yourself, and I am my own sponsor, so allow me to plug myself. We have a lot of really cool stuff on the merch site, though, just to let you know. And another thing, for anybody that is watching that is not inside the U.S., these merchandise items ship outside of the U.S. because it's a drop shipment program, so I don't have them here in my house or anything. They get shipped directly to you from wherever the closest location is. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm waiting for. We got notebooks, we got T-shirts, we got hats, we got beanies, we got coffee mugs, all sorts of stuff at, I believe, pretty reasonable prices. So go and check that out. And then at the very bottom of the website, okay, at the very bottom of the Morning Hookah website, morninghookah.com, there's this thing that says contact me. You put in your email address, okay, you put in your name, and then you send a message. If you want to ask myself or Adam a question, that is going to be your absolute best way to do it. I will get the email, and I will be able to answer instead of trying to look through the chat and stuff like that. And then here's what I'm going to do for you guys that do this. Remember I was talking about those bowls? Remember I was talking about how you want to get as many bowls as you can so you're able to spend them on really cool, fun, and interesting things? Well, check this out. You send me an email with a question for myself or Adam, I will give 100 bowls to your account right now. 100 bowls will be given to your account if you send a valid question. I'm looking at you, Tanner. I know you're just going to send something and be like, what's your name or something. Don't do that. I want it to be a valid question. I will give 100 bowls to your account. You need to follow the channel. You need to be subscribed, obviously, and you need to be active in the chat so that you're able to start earning those bowls. But if you do that, I'll give 100 bowls for a question for myself or for Adam. All right, Adam, I think I finally figured out what it is I'm going to be smoking. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
So like I said, I like the savory flavors from Dark Side, and I'm already drinking coffee. I'm already drinking a delicious thing of coffee. So I'm going to go with Space Dessert. Space Dessert, if you don't know, is tiramisu, and it's fucking fantastic. And I'm going to go with Nuts. And Space Dessert, which Nuts is like a hazelnut flavor, but it's very like creamy and stuff like that. It's just a wonderful, wonderful flavor. So I'm going to mix Space Dessert, Nuts, and then I'm going to add just a tiny bit of Supernova because that is what I like to do. I like to add a little bit of Supernova in there as well. And I'm going to start loading this bowl a little bit. And while I do that, I think we can go ahead and start getting into the kind of cake and the, let's see. So we just got our first question. This is from Tanner. Tanner always takes advantage. The reason why Tanner is leading the bowl count, in case anybody is wondering, it's because Tanner not only shows up at a very regular basis, but he also takes advantage of these opportunities right now when I say, hey, send an email, score yourself some bowls. Like, this is the best way to do it. If you want to ask a question, if you don't feel comfortable sending me your email or something, I understand. It's okay. Not a big deal. You can still ask questions in the chat. Myself, I'm looking at the chat. I believe, Adam, you're looking at the chat as well. If you're not, not a big deal. But if you want to ask a question, go ahead and do that right here, and I will also try to get to answering it. I'm just telling you the best way for me to get your direct question is sending me an email. That will give me the best opportunity to answer your questions. And as a thank you, I'm going to attribute 100 bowls to your account. So I just gave Tanner 100 extra bowls in his account. All right. 100 extra bowls. Plus, there was a giveaway that is taking place right now as well. If you type in !enter, you can enter for a chance to score yourself 100 bowls as well. That's going to be running for, let's see, I don't know if there is a timer on it. I don't believe there's a timer. So we'll run that one for another 2-3 minutes. Type in !enter, get entered into that, score yourself 100 bowls possibly. It is a random raffle entry giveaway. All right, so let me go ahead, and I gave Tanner his bowls, and I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question from Tanner. This is from Tanner in the chat right now. Simple as that. What's up, Claude? How you doing? What's up, Cavstar? What's up, Who Canadian? Hope you guys are all doing so well. Lucas, how you doing? Haley, how are you doing? Arabic Rhythm. Oh my gosh, Arabic Rhythm, not Arabic. I always call him Arabic instead of Arabic Rhythm. How's it going? Somebody from the old school days. Always nice to see you. Hope everybody is doing well. If you guys are smoking, what are you smoking? If you're not smoking, are you going to be smoking? And if you are going to be smoking, what is it that you're going to be smoking? Adam, can you tell that I've had a couple of cups of coffee so far today?
Yeah, a little bit.
I've been told I talk a million miles an hour sometimes. I don't know if that's true or not. Shaman Coles also stopped by for at least a little while and said, good morning, Matt and Adam. Well, good morning, Shaman Coles. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Daniel.
How's it going, Daniel? We're going to get Daniel on the show here soon because he seems like a really fun guy.
He is.
I can only imagine. All right, so let's go and ask this question from Tanner. We'll get things kicked off. Okay. And while you answer, I'll start loading my Dark Side bowl, and then we will continue on with the show. All right, so where's the question? There it is. Tanner has sent you a question through the website. How did each of you decide what you wanted your personal brand? Wow. Okay, so we're getting deep. We're getting already deep into the questions. I was expecting someone to be like, when you mix, do you like to do a layer pack or do you like to put it in a bowl? No. We ask the hard-hidden questions here on the Morning Hookah Show. Tanner, I challenged him not to ask what our names was, and this is what he gives us. So thank you, Tanner.
Okay, great question.
He said, how did you decide what you wanted your personal brand to look like? What brand has the most potential to grow? And then thoughts on the new AF Craft batches. I think when he says what brand has the most potential to grow, he's asking us our thoughts about different hookah or companies, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and take it one at a time. I'll let you go first, and we'll take his question one at a time too, I think. So let's talk about our personal brands and how we decided what we wanted them to look like.
Yeah. So to be honest with you guys, when I started Shisha Central, I was just looking to create a brand that looked fun and funky. When it came to colors, I didn't want it to look too feminine or too masculine. I wanted it something in between so it could attract both sort of genders. So I thought purple was a good bet. I hadn't seen any other review channels or anything around the world using purple at the time, to my knowledge. So I just went for purple and got my logo made, and the rest is history, to be honest. And now purple's become such a big part of my life with everything, with furniture in my house, with all the hookahs I got, most of them are purple, and even the clothes, as you see, I'm always wearing a couple of purple hoodies that I got to represent the brand. So yeah, very good question, Tanner. It's just due to making it friendly for all types of people. So purple was a good shout.
I think that's really good. That brings me to a question to ask you before I answer it. Is hookah smoking in the UK more of a male or female trait? Is it pretty cut in the middle, or does it lean one way or the other?
Well, I'll personally say it's probably a 60-40 split, with males smoking more. Okay. Females are smoking a lot more nowadays, especially when it comes to the lounges. We're a very lounge-orientated market. we have a lot more lounge smokers than home smokers. And ladies, they go to lounges all the time, during the week. They go out with the girls on the weekend to have a party at lounges. So yeah, I think it's a 60-40 split, but soon enough it'll be 50-50, I reckon, because the amount of ladies in the UK are getting into small time sort of like shisha blogging. They're just starting their shisha blogging passions and hobbies now, and it's good to see.
Yeah.
So I think we've had quite a lot of increase with the lady shisha bloggers in the past year. So I think it's going to be growing.
I want to give a shout out real quick to a hookah blogger on Instagram from the UK as well. Her name is Nabs Di Marco. I'm butchering that name. It's NABZDIMARCO. She does fantastic reviews of lounges.
She started quite recently. She represents Afzal Tobacco as well in the UK. So yeah, she's doing some great things. So it's good to see all genders get into shisha just as much as the other. It's a good time for the community.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I would just say based on like Facebook groups that is my largest embrace of the community, because I don't have like a big hookah scene in my area and stuff like that. But it is definitely a lot more male driven in the US, I would say. I don't think that's too crazy. I would say we're closer to like I would say either 70-30 or like 75-25 split, male female. That would be me kind of speaking, from my best guesses. I could be wrong, and there could be like whole areas that only female smoke. So like I just don't even know what I'm talking about. And that's usually how I operate. So I'm just taking my best guess. So let me go ahead and talk about my brand now, the Morning Hookah brand. So as a lot of people may know, coming over from the AM Hookah show that I used to run with Adrian, a good friend of mine, when we decided to end that, I didn't really know what it is that I wanted to do for sure, but I knew I wanted to keep moving forward with the idea of doing hookah content on YouTube, and then also really hitting hard towards the YouTube content or the hookah content on Instagram. And I was really soul searching, trying to figure out like, what's the best name or the best idea for a brand and stuff like that. And I really like coffee. I'm a huge coffee drinker. I love making custom coffee, craft coffee, all that kind of stuff as well. And I kind of gravitated towards the idea of doing a coffee and hookah. And when do you have coffee? Well, you have it in the morning. I don't smoke a lot in the morning. I have a very large family, an army of kids, and I try to hang out with them when they're awake and stuff. So I tried to kind of intertwine a couple of things that I really liked at the same time: coffee, hookah. So like the idea of like morning hookah. And then if you look at my logo that I had made, it has a coffee cup right on the middle of it, right on the side of it. So I really wanted to keep with that motif of like coffee and morning. Morning to me is like a very calming and relaxing time period. When you first wake up, you have a cup of coffee. It's very relaxing and stuff. And then the color scheme, I like the idea of doing like a latte, mocha, a blondie coffee and stuff, nothing too dark, because darkness to me sometimes represents like, too hardcore. I wanted to feel same kind of idea of what you were talking about when it comes to like, you didn't want it to be a color that was too masculine or too feminine. Same thing with me about the coffee look. I wanted the coffee look to be very inviting to everybody, and not just, when I think of like black coffee, I think of just like old man, just like, get off my lawn, I'm trying to be here all by myself. I didn't want to go for that. And I wanted to go for something that was very inviting. Just same thing that you were saying. So that's kind of, I think that answers a lot of that between us we could go deep into this. Actually, like this is a really big question, Tanner. So high five to you, Tanner. High five to you. Okay, let's go into the next one. He says, what brands has the most potential to grow? So I'll let you answer this question first while I go get some coals started. What brand do you think has the most potential to grow?
So let's break this down into two little sections. Let's first start off with tobacco brand. Obviously, I'm testing a lot of new flavors on a weekly basis. When it comes to something that's from Russia, obviously you got Dark Side, Must Have, Element and stuff like that. But there's one brand that I personally like myself, which is getting quite a lot of good feedback around, is Tobacco. It's not made of tobacco, it's made of green tea leaf. And they have some really funky desserty flavors, which I personally like, such as milk oolong and cinnamon roll. So I reckon Tobacco is a brand that could have some good flavors coming out even more soon and break into other markets. They also have their nicotine-free line, which is quite strange to see, whereas a lot of the other brands out there. They kind of stopped doing nicotine-free products, but I've started to try some of their nicotine-free stuff, and it's not bad. So when it comes to tobacco brands, even though it's not really tobacco, it's green tea leaf, I'll say Tobacco is quite a good up-and-coming brand. When it comes to products and stuff, again, Russia, again, just because I'm so interested in their products and I use them a lot, I'll probably have to say something like Mamai Customs. Mamai, a lot of people know about them already. They're getting some good traction. But at the same time, I think they still have a bit of a long way to break all markets. But I think this is about the right time for them to get popular, especially here in the UK. When I smoke from it at home, get tons of questions from people here in the UK. So I think slowly they'll have a lot more distros worldwide. So those two brands are probably the best two up-and-coming brands for me.
Very cool. I like the idea that you included a non-tobacco brand because in America, we're going through a lot of like tobacco stuff. A lot of stigma towards tobacco. Obviously, it stems from like cigarettes and just mainly like cigarettes. Yeah. But it's affecting the tobacco that we smoke in our hookah pipe and cigars and all those kinds of different industries as well. So, I think that any brand that does a non-tobacco has a lot of potential to grow right now. We've seen a lot of things, or Tanner can speak a lot towards like CBD and hemp and stuff like that, which is an interesting thing. I don't know how much that's going to take off, especially with the weird legislation about, cannabis and stuff like that in the US especially. But we do have some really good brands that also do some really good non-tobacco. Heaven Leaf. Have you heard of Heaven Leaf?
I have heard of Heaven Leaf. I have.
Heaven Leaf Tobacco is one of my favorite non-tobacco brands. I am not a huge smoker of non-tobacco. I really like the heaviness that you get from smoking tobacco. When you don't smoke something tobacco, then you get a very kind of lighter feeling, which is, I can understand why people would like that completely. But I usually always mix my Heaven Leaf with tobacco because I do like that. I prefer that little bit of heaviness to it and stuff. But they make some really good flavors. When it comes to potential for a company to grow, I mean, we've seen a lot of really interesting things out of brands coming to the U.S. market, especially like Eternal Smoke, which I don't know if you guys have seen much of them.
Yeah, I've got some, yeah.
We've seen a lot. I think they're doing some really interesting things. I think their flavor combinations is very interesting. I think that they're starting to really touch the ground level of like the enthusiasts and the lounge market and stuff. Like I think they have a lot of potential to do some really cool things. I actually think Zomo did a really good job at coming back into the U.S. market after they had left for a little while because they had too much menthol for some people to handle. Azor does a really good job of all their flavor combinations, and they're always stepping up the game a little bit, which I think is really interesting. I mean, it's hard to not say dark side for the U.S. market because we're waiting for them to come to us so aggressively that when they finally do come here, like it's going to be a very big pop at the beginning, obviously. But then how will that momentum carry them forward? That's the nitty gritty. That's what I'm interested in because, of course, they have a lot of hype. Of course, they're being talked about a lot. But what happens after that first couple of months? What happens after that first order from an average consumer that keeps hearing about this thing called dark side? What happens then? I think it's good, so I could see it definitely taking off in that respect, but I don't know. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, it's very, because you guys are really, really big on Tangiers, obviously. Another dark leaf brand, which is quite different to Dark Side in a few different ways. But I think compared to the UK, because we don't really have any dark leaf brands here yet, the first one who gets here, they're going to take off the biggest due to the fact that it's the first dark leaf brand, So US, because you have Tangiers already there available for all you guys, I think it's going to be a lot of the Tangier smokers giving it a try and seeing if it gives them the same sort of hit.
Well, and the sad thing is Tangiers has kind of had a little bit of a bump in the road. I'm not someone that likes to talk about controversy or anything like that, obviously, but their flavors have definitely become, they're getting a lot of complaints, and that's not me saying something negative towards them. That's me speaking very honestly about what the community is saying as a whole. There's a lot of negativity towards batches that people have received from Tangiers. I can tell you right now that I love Tangiers, okay? I've been smoking Tangiers for 10 years. All right. And I've seen old school Tangiers and I've seen great stuff from Tangiers, and I've had bad batches from Tangiers as well. The latest batches that I've received from Tangiers, my Berkuk Mimon, my regular cherry lemon, I did not like French jelly at all. Cherry Limeade, I think, is very good. I like my Static Starlight. Like, I still am getting good flavors out of Tangiers, and I'm still going to purchase the flavors that I like personally. But, like, I can't ignore the voices that I keep hearing talk about Tangiers and some of the things that they're seeing from it. So that's interesting.
I've heard the same. I've heard the same, to be honest, especially in the American groups about the way it smells and how you have to let it settle. I think you call it acclimation or something like that.
Yeah, acclimating, which is something that no one should have to do anymore. So if they're doing that, it's a sign that their batch is probably not good, sadly.
Oh.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. They have potential to grow just for the fact that they can hopefully fix the mistakes that they're doing, which would be I don't know. Hopefully that's something that we see happen. Them fix those kinds of mistakes and stuff. All right, so this is my pack for Dark Side. Here it is. It's in my Hookah John HEW bowl. It's a very wide bowl, but I want to show everybody kind of what I do with a funnel bowl when it comes to Dark Side tobacco. Is, as you can see, I packed it away from the rim of the bowl. The way that I did that is I took the fork and I put it right against the rim of it, and then I pushed it away from it, just went all the way around. This is kind of referred to as a donut pack. That's what we call it, at least. I don't know if anyone else has names for it. And I really like the way that this affects, especially Dark Side, because it allows the heat to go underneath it. It seems like, at least. And it seems to, I don't know, Dark Side to me is a tobacco that loves to be packed fluffy and just let that heat hit it nice and hard and intensely. So I think that's one of the best ways to do it. So third question from Tanner, and then we can finally stop talking about Tanner. Okay, Tanner, have I said your name enough, Tanner? Do you like that, Tanner? Here we go. This is the last question from Tanner. He says, thoughts on the new AF craft batches? We just spoke to a lot wonderful people from Alfacher on the Shisha Central channel. Go look up youtube.com/Shisha Central. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit that bell icon so you know the moment that he goes live with all sorts of great content. And hey, sometimes I'm on there as well. I've been on 2 of your shows, so that's been a lot of fun. And we've talked to a bunch of people from Alfacher. I highly recommend everybody goes and watch that episode about Alfacher. It was such a good time, and so much good content was talked about.
Yeah, I had some very good feedback on it.
Let's hear about your thoughts on the AF craft batches, if you will.
So unfortunately, here in the UK, getting Alfacher legally is a bit of a pain, especially with the new lines like crafted and fusion lines. So unfortunately, I have not really tried the crafted batch as much as I wanted to. I remember trying one of the numbers of the crafted batch. It was a green one, I think number 5, or is that number 5?
I think that's 8 is probably the
8, okay. Number 8, and it was quite good. I forgot what the flavor tastes like. Literally, I just tried it once for about 20 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So I haven't really got an answer for you for that, but I have asked Alfacher to send me some, so that should be happening soon. So once I get those crafted batches in, I will do a review and put them on my channel for you guys to see.
That's very cool. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are on the crafted batches. I've been a big fan of the craft batch, actually. I like a lot of AF flavors. There's plenty of stuff from their lineup that I really do enjoy. I'm going to change out my hookah head real quick. Got to clean off that little bit of residue on it. Got to clean it up a little bit. The craft batches I have definitely enjoyed. I've been heavily impressed with a lot of them, especially the 2 apple flavor. So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on it. As you heard about it, it has the chili in it. It's 2 apple and chili. And it is definitely a pretty interesting flavor combination. I was a big fan of it. Hey, look, Nab Aran 88 is here. Hi, guys. Oh, it's Nabs. How you doing? Hope you're doing well.
Yo, Nabs.
Everybody go and follow this person. That's their username on Instagram. Absolutely fantastic content. You'll definitely enjoy it. There's all sorts of stuff happening in the comments section, by the way, and I want you guys to know that we will be looking into the comments here in just a little while. There's obviously a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying to keep up with all of it at the same time. And, oh, shit, I got to flip my coals. See? What are we doing? Adam, you were supposed to remind me to flip my coals before they got too hot on the one side.
Sorry, I didn't even see you put them on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through the craft brand, the craft batches. There's a lot of really good flavors. They do a really interesting thing where they take a lot of their modern, or they not their modern, they take their classic flavors and they kind of modernize them a little bit. They do a lot of mixes, as we talked about on your show. In fact, honestly, if you want our thoughts on the craft batches, I talk a lot about it on the Shisha Central podcast that he did. Just go check that out. It's your best place to go to hear my thoughts. And I probably won't say the same thing that I said then now. So go hear what I said then so I don't have to repeat it now. That makes sense?
Exactly.
That's how I got out of that, just like that. All right, let's go ahead and see what is happening in the world of the comments here on the show. But before we do that, let's give away 100 bowls to a lucky listener right now in the chat. These people, we had a couple entries get into this right now, and the winner is going to be pick winner. The winner is Dylan Berman. How you doing, Dylan Berman? Hope you are still in the chat. You have scored yourself 100 bowls that I'm going to be adding into your account right now. The bowls are, of course, the cryptocurrency that we have here on the show for you guys to have an opportunity to win some really cool prizes, win some really cool stuff that's going to be given away in the future. Let me see. Where are you, Dylan? I just got to find your name. That's the one thing about the system that I have in place is it's not the most elegant of systems. I got to do a lot of searching for like different people and stuff like that. Let me see. Dylan should have 100 bowls or about 100 bowls because he subscribed recently to the channel, and when you subscribe to the channel, you get 100 bowls. And then look, you won 100 bowls right now. You're at 202 bowls, Dylan. Congratulations, Dylan. You're already at 202 bowls. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's go ahead and see what is happening in the chat. Claude, stop by. How are you doing, Claude? Hope you're doing well. There was some questions from J-Rock. I saw it in the chat just at least a minute ago. If you want to ask a question in the chat, put a question mark in front of your question so it's easier for me to pick out of the crowd a little bit. Otherwise, it can be a little hard to find which one is a question and which one is just like a regular comment. Okay, so what Shisha brand would you like to see revamp themselves with their Shisha and or products? What is I like this question a lot because that's what AF did. They revamped themselves.
Exactly.
Starbuzz did that with their vintage line. There's been some other brands that have also done that. Zomo did that really well, I thought. What is a brand that you would like to see revamp themselves?
I would have, if you asked me this question a couple of weeks ago, I would have said Alfaka. But after speaking with them, those guys already know what they're doing. They're doing some great stuff around the world. So in terms of tobacco brand, well, when I first got into Shisha, there's a few brands I used to smoke quite a lot, and they kind of faded over time. And I think they've tried to do a revamp, but it hasn't really worked for them because I've seen in their American groups that they haven't had really good success with it. And a lot of their batches are quite old. I want to mention Fantasia Tobacco, if you remember Fantasia.
This is going to cause controversy right here. Oh, I like this. Yes, let's hear about this. I like this.
Well, I smoke all their flavors, Cube Mojito, all of them, Incredible Hulk, all of the ones that they used to have. And they, at a time when I first started my hookah journey, they were like the premium brand to go to in the UK. And all the lounges used to try their best to get hold of it. But I haven't seen much from it. I purchased some in Germany when I went recently, and it just isn't as good as it used to be. I'm not sure if it's because I haven't smoked it for so long, or if I've just my flavor taste buds have changed since then. But yeah, there would be probably one. Obviously, I've seen that they've come and gone so many times in these American groups that I've seen. But yeah, they'll probably be the one. If they came back with a proper bang with a couple of different flavor lines, I think that they could do quite well personally.
I don't know a lot of history behind Fantasia. There's a few brands that I know the history of, pretty well, especially comparatively to like when I started smoking and stuff. And I did grow on Fantasia a long time ago as well. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what people have to say in the audience because J-Rock is a huge Fantasia fan. He loves F8, Formula 8 formulation that they did. He's a big fan of that one because it's like a peppermint cream type flavor, and I know he likes a few of the other ones. Nab says Incredible Hulk. I remember Incredible Hulk. I remember Raspberry Kamikaze. I remember Cotton Candy. I remember
Dragon's Breath.
I don't remember Dragon's Breath.
Maybe that's a different brand, but
Audio
that a lot of flavors.
Yeah. And they did the whole like alcohol theming before anybody else did. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think we have evolved our taste buds. I do believe that Fantasia uses a slightly lower quality of tobacco, and their flavorings are so saturated and syrupy. So there's a difference between saturation and syrup. Saturation, a flavor can be saturated and have lots of flavor. Syrupy is when you start to get those weird chemical tasting flavors in there as well. And I think, and I could be wrong, I would love if somebody from Fantasia sees this, if somebody from Fantasia is watching, or somebody shares it with you, or you find out about this moment right now, I want you to know I would love to have you on the show and talk about Fantasia tobacco with me, and let's break it down. You give us the history and everything about it. I would absolutely love that. If anybody has contact information for Fantasia tobacco, you direct them right here to myself or Adam, and let's talk about Fantasia tobacco.
Another reason why I mentioned them was because back then in the UK market, for those of you that don't know, the UK shisha market is heavily black market flavors only, meaning local brands, which everyone uses. So back in the days then, there were a few of those brands out, but I noticed a lot of them had just seen what Fantasia has done and then obviously done what they needed to do with the flavors. So we still see some Fantasia inspired flavors, but by these local brands. So that's the reason why I've mentioned it. Their flavor line definitely inspired some people here to do whatever they're doing. So that's why I mentioned it.
Hey, they are one of the grandfathers of hookah tobacco, and let's be honest, before anybody starts talking about that they're trash or crap or any of those kinds of things, they are still around today. So before anybody has something to say that is negative towards them, they are still around. So regardless if they're doing it right, wrong, and you just don't like them or not, they are making money and they are still selling product. And there are brands that were around that are not doing that. Like, it's not like anybody will buy anything. I think that's something that needs to be kind of clear and said, is there are brands that have fallen by the wayside. There are plenty of brands that have fallen by the wayside. Fantasia is still here. So, I mean, say what you want to say, but at the same time, like, they are still doing their thing that they're trying to do. Nab said, oh my God, Dragon's Breath was amazing. The flavor profile was great on it. Larry says, my favorite Fantasia was Joker and $1 Million Berry. J-Rock says, my favorite was Purple Hazel. Or Purple Haze. A lot of people love Purple Haze. I remember that one now. J-Rock said, and I said to myself, this is the first brand I want to see revamped. J-Rock, I know you, brother. I know you. You've been talking about Fantasia for far too long. I think that's phenomenal. Nab said a Messiah as well, by the way. A Messiah would be a good one to see do some sort of like revamp to themselves, because they're very traditional in nature. They're very old school in their flavor profiles. The biggest thing that old flavorings try to do when they're doing their revamp is they always add the word ice in front of everything. Have you noticed that?
Frozen, ice, frosty.
Not everybody wants more mint. Okay? Shisha brands, please understand that we all love a good mint kick, but we don't all want mint 24/7. I think that there's other things in the world that hookah smokers enjoy. I would love to see when it comes to a flavor doing some revamping of some kind. I think the brand that I would like to see that happen to most is Ugly Hookah Tobacco. Are you familiar with Ugly Hookah?
I've had the Orange Keef. They got a flavor called Orange Keef. Yeah, I've had that. Yeah.
Ugly Hookah Tobacco has had some weird ups and downs, and it's because they are they're doing a lot of things where they were having some problems with their tobacco, their cut, their flavorings, just some kind of like ups and downs with what they were doing. I'd like to see them do a very focused hit on the US market. I mean, honestly, like, get rid of all the flavors, get rid of everything and start from scratch. I'm saying this not needing to make actual business decisions, obviously. So I get to say whatever I want in a situation like this. But like, I would say start from scratch. Like, get those 5 really good flavors: the Orange Keef, the Sergeant Huckleberry, the Agent, what was it called? Agent something. Their mint flavor that they had, which was really strong and good. Like, start with like 5 to 6 flavors again, and see, Claude just said Ugly Hookah. Tried it. It was bad. And I hate that because I've tried Ugly Hookah Tobacco and it was good. I tried Guava from Ugly Hookah Tobacco and it was fantastic. So I would love for them to have an opportunity to really try to hit the U.S. market again in a positive way and see if they couldn't make another run at it. They just got some new batches out, and I don't know if the new. I've only heard they have new batches. I have not seen anything else about it. So I'm interested to try them out and see exactly what they're all about and see if they've made any changes. Yeah.
Quick question. So I've seen loads of brands on the American forums and stuff like that, which I just wanted to ask you a quick question if I can.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a brand out there called Nirvana and Othman.
Yes.
What are these brands? Because I've seen them here and there, and I just wanted to know a bit more about them.
Yeah, so Medwa is so originally Medwa came into the market and they created Medwas and Doka, and that's what their main thing was. Then they made a transition to doing something called Nirvana Super Shisha. Nirvana Super Shisha was using just regular shisha tobacco that they actually grow themselves, and then they mixed in their Doka with it. So it was Super Shisha, which is a terminology that I believe they created, but I could be wrong. Maybe somebody else did it before that, and I don't know. But they were hookah tobacco with Doka tobacco, so they were Super Shisha. Then they kind of left the market for a little while. They got really big in Russia and overseas a little bit, from my understanding. Then they left, and they came back. And when they came back, they started 3 brands. They have Nirvana, Medwa, Super Shisha. They have Nirvana Eclipse, which is their black leaf tobacco with Doka, with more Doka, very strong, very, very good stuff. And then they have Othmani. Othmani is
under the same bracket.
All under the same roof. They're all under the same roof. And the Othmani is their pure blonde leaf, more washed tobacco with very, not lighter flavors, but more like they have a Turkish coffee that's really good. They have this pistachio watermelon that's actually really, really good as well. So they're more of the lighter flavors, while the other side of the spectrum when it comes to like the Eclipse is like raspberry cream, orange soda, stuff like that. But they're all the same. They're under the same brand or the same house. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for clearing that up.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get to another question that we had from somebody that sent in an email. Once again, go to morninghookah.com, send in an email, and you can score yourself 100 bowls to your account. I got to find this person right here. It says Sofina on the email, but I don't know if that's the name that you used inside YouTube. So please, if it's not, Sofina, if you're still here, let me know what your YouTube name is so I can find you and I can give you those 100 bowls. But you have to be subscribed to the channel, just so you know. Okay, here's a question. Hey, gents. This question is for Adam. The best lounge you have visited in central London?
Ooh. Okay, so let me break it down for you guys. London as a whole, we have over 400 hookah lounges in London alone. When it comes to central London, the price of hookah is much more. You're looking at minimum about $50. $55 for a shisha in central London, which is about £40. They're very Russian inspired lounges, most of them. They do a lot of dark side, they do a lot of element, they do a lot of must have, loads of different flavors from all around the world. So when it comes to there's a few of them that I personally go to the most. I really like Valentino London. It's a very good hookah lounge in central London, as well as Blacklist London as well. So those two are probably my favorite hookah lounges in central London, just because of the amount of flavors they have, the Russian shishas they use alphas, they use wookahs, they use mat pairs, they use noobs, they got everything there. So for anyone looking for a dark leaf smoke in UK, you're only gonna mostly find it in central London. There's a few new lounges opening up here and there that do dark leaf and are trying their best to jump on the Russian bandwagon, which is great to see. But central London is your place to go for anything Russian hookah.
That's so exciting that you have places in London and stuff. And I mean, larger hookah lounges usually are able to cater towards doing that kind of stuff where they are able to garner different hookahs or shishas from like around the world. One of the coolest aspects of going to a hookah lounge is being able to use a pipe that you've never used before. That's something that I like. I have I've smoked out of a really good variety of hookahs. I've had everything from Mia's to Carbons to Like Smokes. I'm smoking out of not a Hookah, but a work bun hookah right now. I've smoked out of Hookahs. I've smoked out of Alphas. I've smoked out of B2s. I've smoked out of all sorts of stuff, right? Like just the wide spectrum. And if I didn't have the opportunity as myself as being a member of the community and a reviewer and stuff, I would not be smoking this variety of hookahs.
Exactly.
So it'd be so cool to have places where you can go and be able to smoke all these different stuff, especially tobacco, man. Like I know myself personally, I get into ruts where I just smoke the same thing over and over again. And you have opportunities at a hookah lounge to try something you've never tried before.
I just want to maybe add to that question as well, just to give people a bit of history, because when it comes to the UK, Russian hookah came here about 4 years ago. Very small. Not a lot of people knew about it. I discovered it first at a lounge called Smoke Lab, which is based in Vauxhall, London. and they're two good friends of mine now, and they were from Russia and Serbia, and they wanted to bring Russian hookah to the UK. So they are the original founders of Russian hookah in the UK scene, and I'm so grateful that I met them about a month after they opened, because it opened my eyes up to what other products started. I started my Shisha Central journey at the same time they started their lounge journey. They ended up opening around 6 Russian hookah lounges in the UK. Unfortunately, due to personal reasons, they don't have all of them anymore. They only got 1 or 2, but they are the original people who brought Russian hookah to the UK. And the reason why I have then gone on to talk about Russian hookah and then educate everyone in the UK is down to what they showed me 4 years ago. So they were the original, and everyone kind of jumped on their vibe and started doing the same thing as them for Russian hookah in central London.
That's cool. All it takes is one person to take that leap of faith, and then we'll see a lot of other interesting things. There's some places in like Florida, California, and stuff like that that service a lot of those kind of like niche type shisha flavors and stuff like that, which is really cool. In Vegas, there's the Oasis Hookah Lounge, which does a fantastic job with some amazing hookahs and just a great flavor selection as well. Those are like the only places that I really know about. I don't know about.
I've seen one on Instagram, Mojo Hookah.
Yeah, Mojo Hookah. That's in California. They have some really cool stuff. Plus, they have a lot of they have just a huge variety of hookahs. Like the stuff that they carry there is just. I would love to go there and try out some of those hookahs that like I will never buy. Like they have that one that's like a $1,500 hookah that's made out of like wood and really nice blown grass that looks like a Buddha face.
The Bali, Colin Bali.
Yeah, I will never buy that. I don't even. My wife made a joke one time about buying it for me. I was like, "Do not spend $1,500 on a hookah for me, please. Don't do that. That is not. I don't care how good that hookah smokes. It is not worth $1,500. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Call me crazy. I don't mind. Okay, so we need to get into our question and answering to each other. Otherwise, we're never.
Cool. So let me start off. Ask you something.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
What is the attitude for hookah in the US? Let's start off with your state. So your state of Idaho. Mm-hmm. What's the hookah scene like there? What's the attitude around it? Do people frown upon it? Do a lot of people know about it? And then in the US, you can go on and explain that.
So in Idaho, we're a very conservative state, and we don't have a lot of hookah in the sense of anywhere. So Idaho is a decent-sized state. It has a lot of people. In our bigger cities, such as Sun Valley, Boise, Idaho, Twin Falls, Idaho, it is a little bit more liberal in nature, but we're still a very, very conservative state overall. And the overall census of hookah, both in Idaho and then most of the U.S., besides in Middle Eastern type communities, is there's still a pretty big stigma about it in comparison to a lot of places. It's still a pretty big stigma as smoking it concerns. Like a lot of people just think of the tobacco, they just think of the negativity towards that. We have not been able to make the turn from it being a craft type of service, like alcohol, for instance, like whiskey or bourbon or gin or tequila. You know, we can have commercials on the Super Bowl about alcohol that you can drink too much of and then not be able to drive a car, but you can't do a commercial about tobacco because that's going to affect your children too much, you know, with completely just ignoring the fact that like high schoolers drink at an unnatural amount too. Like they care about the tobacco so very much, but they don't care about the alcohol in the same standard and stuff. So that's sadly the overarching, like the government standing of it and stuff. You know, I've never ran into somebody where I was like, I smoke hookah. The first thing that happens, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. The first thing that happens when somebody finds out that I smoke hookah, they usually act like it's weed. They act like it's a bong, and I instantly get defensive, and I tell them it's not a fucking bong. It is a water pipe, yes, but it is not a bong. It functions completely differently, and it's used for a completely different purpose. It is not a bong. This is not used for marijuana. This is used for flavored tobacco. That's what this is used for. But sadly, we still have that stigma of kind of like rebellious, but just like lazy and just very negative connotation towards it. Sadly, it's not moved over or past the idea that it is not necessarily positive, but it's just, you know, just something that people do as a hobby. We haven't moved over to the hobby scene of hookah tobacco yet, sadly, which I wish was different, but nothing we can do about it right now. There needs to be a big community effort to make it so that doesn't happen anymore, in my opinion. I'd love to see that happen. I don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully it's sooner than later. Okay, let's see. Matt, I sent you the screenshot in the Hookah University message chat. Oh, I'll have to go and take a look at that here in a minute. But let me go ahead and ask you a question. And that was actually going to be one of my questions to you, was just the basic, what is the attitude about hookah in your area? So let's hear about that from you a little bit.
Hookah's been around here in the UK for many years, 10 years plus. And I'm glad to say that in recent years, it's become more of a more acceptable thing to do when it comes to going out on a night out. Instead of going to a bar or club, a lot of people would now rather go to a shisha lounge. So it's not as frowned upon as it used to be. But with some of the older generation, like our parents and stuff like that, they still look down upon it, some of them, because they think, oh, it's weed or it gets you high and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think it's just about educating everyone properly. And that's what I'm trying to do with my channel, is to build the UK scene to be a major player in the world. You know, even though it's going to take me a long time, it's already taken me 4 years to get it up to being able to connect with people worldwide and have recognition. But now it's about going further and just educating people that hookah and drinking, personally, I think drinking can get you in a lot more trouble than smoking hookah. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, we can't have a couple of pints of beer and drive in any country. But hookah, we can smoke it all night long and we can go and drive fine. So I think it's about breaking it down a bit more and having more and more lounges available. But that's what I think is great about the UK. In terms of lounges, we got that covered. We're literally getting too many now. Like, I know that it's never too many. There's always enough for everyone to eat. But at the same time, it's becoming something that people think they can just open it, have some good branding, and that's it. You know, bring some Instagram influencers down, some ladies who look good for the Instagram, take some pictures of them, and then, oh yeah, guys, come down. All these girls will be there. When you go there, there's no girls there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we definitely one of the type of like lounge experiences that a lot of people kind of go for when they open up a hookah lounge is they kind of, I don't strip clubs too far. That's not what I mean. Yeah, but it's very clubby and it's very like trying to like get that kind of, which I'm not a fan of the club scene. And maybe it's just because like I'm turning into an old man, so yeah. I admit that may be it. But I like a lounge. I want to go somewhere where I can relax, hang out, good conversation. Some of the best conversations ever had are with a hookah right in the middle of it, in my opinion.
You know what I love. Like with me, when I first started, I used to love that club vibe. I used to like going out on a night out with the boys, heading down to a lounge, spending lots of money and stuff. But you know, after a while, when you get into hookah properly and you start smoking, you know, you just don't want that. You just want to be able to chill, have some good conversations with some good like-minded people and relax. And most of my business I do outside of the shisha, I made most of my business deals, most of my new ventures at hookah lounges while sitting there and thinking and talking with people. So it's a great way to relax and kick back and think of some new things, you know?
Yeah, Hookah Nadian actually brings up a really good point. He says, I want to battle our tobacco laws here in Quebec because vaping isn't affected by it, nor is flavored alcohol. And like those are some of the weirdest things. Like you're allowed to have flavored vaping juice and you're allowed to have flavored alcohol, but you can't have flavored tobacco. Like that is the ultimate stigma of tobacco. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. It really is.
I think I spoke with Hookah Canadian about the Canadian market. I actually visited Toronto a few years back and I found it very hard to find a lounge. And when I did, it was a lounge, but it was like a shisha shop. And in the back, they have like a little room with 4 seats. And that's where everyone was smoking. It wasn't bad. It was still good, but they were still using quick lights, unfortunately. But yeah, loads of these markets, such as like Canada and Australia and even the UK, the biggest reasons why our markets aren't big is due to the tax and the laws. That's what's stopping us. Otherwise, we've got enough enthusiasts here to make the scene really big, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, so a couple of house cleaning notes real quick. Type in !enter for your opportunity to win some merchandise. I'm giving away some merchandise right now. It's very simple and easy to enter. Type in !enter and you'll be entered in to win some merchandise. It is a morning hookah sticker. It's a hand-drawn variant of the morning hookah that has a jar that says morning hookah and a really cool looking bowl. You can check it out on the merch area if you want to take a look at what the actual sticker looks like. But type in !win for your opportunity. We'll let that run for about 15, 20 minutes or so. below, and then we will pull a winner for that. It's a really cool sticker. I have some of those stickers actually coming to me. I think they came out looking really, really cool. And if you want to win one, very simple. All you got to do is type in !enter. Very, very simple. Enter into that. And then after this giveaway for the stickers, we're going to be giving away some Dark Side tobacco on the show today. We're going to give away some Dark Side tobacco. It has to be in the U.S. so I can ship it to you because I'm the one shipping it here in the U.S. But we will give away some Dark Side tobacco to one lucky winner as well. In fact, I'm going to give away 2 flavors. I'm going to give away Supernova because I think everybody should try Supernova. And then maybe this space dessert because I love it so very much. This is a tiramisu flavor. So we'll give away space dessert and we'll give away Supernova as well after this giveaway that's taking place right now. Once again, don't forget to share the video, like the video as well. We have about 14, 15 people watching usually. Make sure you slap that like button because if I have 14, 15 people watching, we should have 14, 15 likes. So hit that like button, share the video, let your friends know about this as well and their opportunity to possibly win some Dark Side tobacco. Think of it like this. If you invite a friend to come and watch the video, and they also enter, and they're not like a big hookah smoker, you can win it through them and then just take it from them. Okay, I'm not telling you to do anything shady, but hey, I just want some views and I want some likes, so do that for me. All right, I got a question in the chat real quick, so let's go ahead and answer that for a moment. It says, Matt, what are your five Tangier flavors to try? Do you have much experience with Tangier's tobacco?
No, honestly, I don't. The only flavors I use are cane mint, cashmere peach, and 2005 blueberry, which I got recently. So I've been experimenting with that. It's really hard to get Tangiers here in the UK, so hence why I haven't really experimented with it.
Okay. So here are my top 5 Tangier's flavors to try. The top 5 in no particular order. I do think everybody needs to try cane mint because of the legacy and what everyone knows about cane mint. Everybody should try cane mint. It's a very strong, sweet, powerful peppermint flavor. It's a really good mixer. It's really good to smoke on its own. It's just a really good flavor. Number 5 would be cane mint. Number 4 would be mimone. Mimone is a mint lemon flavor. It's a classic flavor. It's not like every mint lemon you've ever tried. This is a different sort of flavoring that they use for it. It is very strong. It is really tasty. It has a nice, good buzz to it, and it's very tobacco-y. You have a very nice tobacco undertone, as you do with a lot of Tangier's flavors, but this one's different because the tobacco melds with the lemon mint flavor, and it's just really, really good. Another one that doesn't get talked about nearly enough that I think that a lot more people should try is snozberry. Snozberry is all of the berry flavors that they make, the leftovers. It's like a tabletop mix of all the berries, and they mix it into one thing and call it snozberry. And it'll be a little bit different every time you try it. Sometimes it's a little more blueberry. Sometimes it's a little bit more raspberry. Sometimes it's a little more blackberry. Really, really good flavoring. Definitely recommend trying snozberry. I would also recommend getting cherry limeade because I think cherry limeade is one of the underrated best flavors from Tangier's. I absolutely love the way that it tastes. You get a little bit of the carbonation type feeling to it, which is really, really tasty. You get the cherry flavor, the lime flavor. I really am a big fan of the cherry limeade. And then my all-time favorite Tangier's flavors, and possibly my favorite flavor of all time, I would definitely say this is my favorite flavor. It's the flavor that I've smoked by far the most. Static Starlight. Static Starlight is a rose flavor with black grape, and it is phenomenal. I love this flavoring so very much. Static Starlight is a flavor unlike anything else, and I guarantee if you have the opportunity to try it, you will like it as well. It's just so damn tasty. Black grape, rose, they mix so very well together. It is just really, really, really good. Those are my top 5 flavors that I think that everybody needs to be trying. Actually, Larry right now says I'm smoking cherry limeade right now. Larry, how's it going for you? Is it coming good? Is it coming out good for you? Let me know. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our questions to each other. And do you have another question for me?
Yeah, sure. So I just wanted to know a bit about products and stuff in the States and the flavors. What's the talk of the town right now? What are people talking about? Obviously, I've seen a bit on the group, but I wanted to get your opinion on it. What sort of shisha are lounges using? What sort of tobacco brands are most used in the States for lounges as well?
Okay, this is a good one. I would say the winner by default is Dark Side and Element because they're the brands that have started to infiltrate the American market a little bit. They're not available readily for everyone to get. That's why, I'm giving it away on the show, for instance. And there's a few people that have tried to give away Element tobacco as well. Dark Side tobacco has just been in the conversation for such a very long time. But when it comes to actual brands that are able to go out and buy today that have gotten a lot of hype about them recently, I would say is definitely Azor. Azor is just fantastic. They just came out with 3 new flavors: Orange My Guava, Strawberry Passion, and Napa Grape. And a lot of people are talking about those flavors, and a lot of people are enjoying those flavors. I am included. I've tried the Strawberry Passion. I've tried the Orange My Guava. I have the Napa Grape, but I haven't tried it yet. That's what I should have smoked, is Napa Grape. But I think Azor just knocks it out of the park. They do such a good job with their flavorings. Very, very good stuff. And then also Eternal Smoke as well. Eternal Smoke is a brand that hit the ground running, and they've kept into the mind of the both the normal hookah smoker and the enthusiast as well, by having really good mixtures of flavorings and just doing a really good job of branding themselves towards lounges and casual smokers, and then the enthusiasts have really embraced them as well. I think that Eternal Smoke is a brand that a lot of people have really started to dig into, and they're really enjoying. Those are the 2 that I think are talked about very well and have a lot of hype surrounding them. When it comes to products, boy, there's a couple of things I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. I'm trying. There's not too many new hookahs right now. There's the new B2 that's going to be coming up here pretty soon, called the Inox stainless steel hookah from B2, which is going to get a lot of attention, and a lot of people are definitely going to enjoy it. I know they are, because I smoked it and I enjoyed it. It's a very, very good pipe. And then like Derek Moses, the Derek Moses custom leather hoses. Yeah. You can kind of see it mine in the background. That's a custom Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they're fantastic products. A lot of people love them. They're so well made. You can do so much customization to them. They're really, really cool products. They get a lot of hype. Also, we have a really, really nice array of artisan bowl creators here in America. The Relics ring, which sadly we don't see anymore, but hopefully one day it makes a comeback. But hazy bowls, love the hazy bowls. Yes. Love the Mason bowls. Alpaca makes great bowls. Hookah John makes great bowls. We have a really, really awesome supply and variety of artisan hookah bowl makers, and I think that's really, really exciting for us. Yeah, I think that's probably my answer. If I was to, I think that's what I would have to say about it. All right, let me ask a question to you. What are the hookahs and tobacco brands that are the known names in your area, and what are people talking about for you? So it's basically the same question to you. What are the brands and products that people talk about in your area? I know Afzal is really big in the UK, right?
So we have 5 legal tobacco brands, meaning they can be purchased at shops legally, not under the table. So you got Starbuzz, you got Afzal, you got Oasis Tobacco, you got Alfaka, but their red MX version, and who am I missing out? I'm missing someone out.
Fantasia?
I mean, probably got that, huh?
Fantasia?
No.
Fumari?
No, that's about it. That's the known ones. And obviously under Starbuzz, you got a few other brands like Overdose under Starbuzz. You got Savaco under Starbuzz as well. So they're another 2 brands that a lot of people are talking about as well. So yeah, you got about 5 or 6 brands that are legal. So in the UK, it's really funny because wherever I start smoking, a lot of people start to want to try it, which is a good thing, which is great for me. So because I put up Azor quite a lot of people are looking at Azor. Dark Side, obviously, I think Dark Side's being spoken about worldwide. So it's the same thing with the US and here. The only difference is we don't really smoke that much dark leaf. So people are excited about it, but whether they can hack it and smoke it, that's another story. But for them to definitely want to, they're interested in it and want to try it is great. When it comes to lounges, most lounges are still quite old school, which isn't a bad thing. Kale Mamoon is probably the most used shisha here in the UK when it comes to lounges and home smokers still. You also got Starbuzz Challenger American hookahs. I personally like Starbuzz Challenger quite a lot. So a lot of lounges have used those. You also got lounges picking up some German shishas nowadays as well. So that's being talked about quite a lot. But I think the main hype at the moment in the UK is the flavors from Russia. That is the main hype that everyone's talking about, because people have smoked Tangiers here, even though it's not available. The proper hookah enthusiasts have smoked it and have tried it for years and years. So I think it's the new Russian brands. That's the most questions I get on my page anyway, because I promote a lot of Russian stuff. Those questions come in quite a lot. So yeah.
I'd agree with that. You see a lot of Russian talk get just all over the place, both here in America as well. It's something that's heavily talked about, and I think as soon as we start to see them really start to infiltrate a lot of different areas, we're going to see. I don't know. I'm really excited to see what happens. The Russian invasion already happened with hookahs, especially here in America and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do once it comes time to getting that the products in people's hands and seeing how they use it and stuff like that, which actually feeds into my next question for you.
Okay. One quick thing. Yeah. The brand that I forgot, it was Messiah. They recently came here to the UK.
So. Okay. Yeah, very cool. I've had a little bit of experience with Messiah. Nothing that I have smoked a lot or anything, but I do enjoy them. I think they're very good for what they offer, at least. Okay, so my question to you, and this goes along with like new brands coming into the market and stuff like that. What are your thoughts about packing? What really goes into it, and how important do you think it actually is?
You know, when it comes to packing a bowl, when I first started out, I still got a picture somewhere. I'll try and put it up one day. It's of when I first packed my first bowl in the Egyptian bowl, and it was horrendous. It was terrible. It was the first time I packed. It was literally like cement in the bowl. If you turned it around, nothing would fall out. But then as time went on, I slowly started to experiment myself, you know. I've never been a fan of Egyptian bowls. I've always been on funnel bowls from quite way back. So they're quite easy to pack. I'll probably say I do quite a lot of like semi-fluff normal packs. I don't really do too many fluffy packs as much. I just tend that semi-fluff's fine and normal pack's quite good for any tobacco. When it comes to dark stuff, even dark side, I don't dense it or anything like that. I don't use it as a lot of people do in the States with Tangiers. I do it with a fluff or normal pack as well. It just depends. Make sure the bowl's full. Make sure it's not overpacked. Make sure it's not underpacked. And make sure nothing's coming out the edges, really. And that's about it. As long as the tobacco can breathe and you can get longevity from your session, packing just, it's in the States, it looks like there's a few places or groups that have kind of focused on it like it's an art form. And I'm not saying Shisha ain't an art. In my mind, Shisha is an art. You know, the whole experience is very, in my mind, it's very spiritual, it's very therapeutic, it's relaxing, yeah? But going to that extent of having 12 different pack methods, I don't like. Yeah, I've tried them, but yeah, they're not that.
I agree with you. I think that packing the bowl is as important as it is not important. It's very important to have a good quality hookah bowl. That is very, very important. You want to make sure that the heat is being kept and there's retention in the heat and all those kinds of things, and you want to have a good space to be able to pack in. I really, truly believe that packing hookah tobacco goes so much further with the type of tobacco that you're using. Every tobacco that you use needs a small variation of packing based on the leaf itself. You shouldn't worry so much about like packing it this way 100% of the time. It's such a personal thing. Like find the way that something works well for you, and don't let somebody tell you that you can't do it that way. Don't let somebody tell you that you're not allowed to do something that you want to do. Like it's your bowl. Smoke your bowl the way that you want to smoke your bowl, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way of doing it. In terms of wrong ways, there are a few ways that you just shouldn't, about overpacking. But you know, some regions around the world work on overpacking.
Swear by it.
It's just it's more of like a hookah culture thing. You know, different markets have different ways. The best thing you can do is learn everyone's preferences, figure them out, test them, and see which one you like the best, and that's it.
Yes, that's how I agree too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close the entries right now for the sticker giveaway that we have, and we're going to go ahead and pick a winner. The winner is going to get picked right now, and it looks like the winner is Claude. Congratulations, Claude. You are the winner of this sticker set. Oh, excuse me. I just drank some coffee. We got a winner, Claude. You are the winner. It's pretty simple. Just click on that link, Claude. You do have to be in the chat right now. Click on the link so you can get your information sent over to me for your address and stuff like that, and it will get sent out to you. Congratulations. I'm so excited that you won, Claude. Hopefully you enjoy that sticker setup that we got for you. Enjoy it, and can't wait for your thoughts when you get the sticker. I think it came out really cool looking, so I'm excited for some more people to get some of that merch. If you guys are interested in getting some of that merchandise, if you want to go and support the show in that way, I would highly appreciate it, obviously. And if you buy any of the merchandise that is inside of the store, you will also get a kickback on points on bowls. So if you spend for every dollar that you spend in the shop, you will get 100 bowls for it. So for instance, there is a T-shirt that is, I believe it's like $25 or something like that. You'll get 2,000 bowls for that. So 2,000 bowls you'll gain for getting a shirt like that. Pretty simple and easy. Once I get the notification that you bought it, I will give you those bowls into your account, and it's a great way to start earning a lot of bowls so that you're able to score some really cool stuff down the line. But you can go and check that out by going to morninghookah.com and checking out the merchandise store there and seeing all the great stuff that we have. Yes, Tanner actually bought a hoodie. He bought a hoodie from this store, and he's going to be getting a lot of bowls from that as well. So, yeah, go and check out the merchandise store. I think we have a lot of really cool stuff over on the merch store for you guys to go and check out. So I'm going to go ahead and get another giveaway set up for the dark side that I'm going to be giving away. This is for U.S. listeners because I need to be able to send it to you here in the U.S. So please only enter if you are in the United States. But I'm going to go ahead and get this set up, and as I get it set up, I'm going to have you ask me a question at the moment.
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to US reviewers and bloggers, which ones did you first start watching back in the days, and which ones do you think have inspired you to take your own sort of hookah journey in the blogging scene?
Boy, I've been around for a long time. I've been around for a very, very long time. And I've seen a lot of hookah people come and go. And it's been very exciting to see the hookah culture change on YouTube and the reviewers and stuff like that. In the beginning, there was people called True Hookah King. There was somebody called the Time Lord, Fabian the Time Lord. Man, this is really old school. Cryptic and what was his buddy's name? Cryptic and something else. There was Hookah Frank, who is still around today as well. Hookah Frank, a lot of people love Hookah Frank. Very good guy. I've met him many times in person. It was actually, so Hookah Frank is somebody that I knew from 10, 12 years ago that we spoke to each other all the time on the internet. And then it was Hookah Expo Worldwide 2 that we both went there and we met each other for the first time. This was somebody that I have literally been talking to for over 10 years in hookah. And to finally meet him in person and give him a handshake and give him a hug, that was amazing. There's something so special about that. Really, really, it was very, very special to be able to have that opportunity to meet Hookah Frank and to talk to him. He's somebody that was around in the old days. There was also, there's a couple other names. Seashide Jake is somebody that was around a long time ago. He was actually the original owner of a group called hookahdomain.com, which is where I met Hookah Frank from. And inside hookahdomain.com, which was before Facebook groups and stuff like that, that's where we used to all gather and introduce and talk to each other about hookah and stuff like that. That segmented away to hookahgiveaway.com for a little while. And then that's when things kind of started to roll downhill a little bit. We had hookahpro.com. We had Royal Hookah Forums, which is John's hookah forum that he does from Hookah John. And then it kind of changed. And now we have the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
And in the Facebook groups, there were some different people that became more relevant and stuff like that. Strictly Shisha, somebody that I follow and am friends with.
Yeah, I follow him too.
Yeah, Zach from Strictly Shisha. And then Adrian Hunter, Pipe Dream. Big shout out to him, obviously. Just all sorts of really cool people. And then inside the actual groups itself, people like Paul Sailau, people like Travis Leader and Jeremy Bird, Bracken Cox. There's just so many names that I'm going to forget people, and I'm going to feel really bad that I forgot them. So I'm sorry if I forgot somebody's name, because I really do appreciate all the time and effort that so many people have put into this as well. But there are a lot of the people that I was watching when I first started doing hookah reviews. And then Dude Where's My Hookah, Rob Picaro, he's a good friend of mine as well. And me and him actually started doing, so I did reviews a long time ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, back in the day for Hookah Domain and Hookah Giveaway, like I was talking about. And then I fell out of it for a long time. I fell out for 5-6 years. And then I got back into it. And when I got back into it and started doing this new stuff, the podcasting, the live videos and stuff like that, obviously things have changed a lot. We still haven't grown that much, though. We haven't grown to a huge amount like you see in the UK or in Russia and stuff like that. Dr. Noob Sauce, the Hookah Advocates, is another one that I think a lot of people need to go and follow. Bracken Cox and Chris Fernandez, they run the Hookah Advocates. They're on a little bit of a hiatus right now because of the coronavirus that's damaging America, obviously, right now. But they're a really cool place to go and find a lot of really interesting information and stuff like that. But yeah, that's that. I think, does that answer your question, or did I forget a part?
Yeah, that answers it perfectly. Thanks.
Okay. I was like, oh, I think I might be rambling at this point. I'm not sure.
No, perfect. It's good
Okay.
insight into the history of American shisha blogging.
It's been interesting. It really has. Like, if I look back and I think of like where I started with like Three Kings Coles and Fantasia and Starbuzz, and then seeing like
Yeah,
me now, I'm smoking Superior Cocoa Coles with freaking Dark Side tobacco inside of my work bun hookah. Like, such a
yeah,
change,
such change.
such a different world. All right, let me ask you a question. What is a mix that you have been a fan of as of late?
So when it comes to mixes, one that I've been smoking quite a lot is the one I'm actually smoking right now, white cake with green lean. Been smoking that for a few weeks, quite a lot. Also, a Zoa lemon muffin with Famari spice chai and a bit of cinnamon rolled by tobacco. Three-way mix, really good mix, very desserty, lasts quite a long time. Those two mixes are probably my go-to mixes at the moment. But when it goes to mixes that I smoke, which are old school, probably be grape and mint. Starbuzz Code 69 and Pink, still one of my favorite mixes, even though I don't smoke a lot of Starbuzz anymore. But yeah, that's it really. Apart from that, loads of other brands that I use. Actually, another one that I kind of started to use lately. So obviously, I've been smoking Famari for ages, but I've done a bit of a mix. So I've done white gummy bear with ambrosia and Tangelo, all three of them. It's come out quite nice. To be honest, I never knew it'd be that nice, but it came out quite good as well.
That sounds actually very good. Do not smoke a lot of Fumari anymore. I don't know why. They just kind of have fallen off of my radar. I need to get back into. It because I think that it's a very good brand, and they're an American brand. I believe they're actually Turkish tobacco, but they are very heavily involved in the American scene. They're one of the big people that are helping fight the legislation when it comes to the people trying to ban hookah and ban flavored tobacco and stuff like that. They've done some really good work. Them, Alfaker, a lot of other brands, Regal hookahs have done a really good job of helping support the cause and stuff. There's a really cool Facebook page or group and page called Hookah Chamber. If anybody is interested in helping the fight of the stuff that's happening here in America, I highly recommend you go and join the Hookah Chamber, because that's where you can get all the information about all the different meetings that are happening, all the legislation that's coming up. Very, very important stuff, especially for people here in America. So definitely recommend you guys go and check out that. All right, very, very cool. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions in the chat? If you do have a question in the chat, drop a question mark in front of it so it's easy for us to be able to see, and then we're able to ask your question without me having to search through the chat for a half hour to find a question. While we wait for that to happen, do you have a question for me you'd like to ask?
Yeah, just a quick one. So I've been seeing a few hookah brands that are doing quite well at the moment around the world, in Europe and stuff like that. There's one that comes to mind that I personally think is doing quite well, and they've had very great success in the Spanish market as of late. Adalia. In the States, do you have Adalia?
We do have a Dahlia. They're not a big hitter by any stretch. They're doing some interesting things though, because they're not just doing the hookah tobacco. They're also doing hookahs as well. The ATH hookahs. They have stainless steel. They have brass. I think those are the only two models that they've been doing, but it's been very, very cool stuff. Their actual tobacco itself, I'm not the biggest fan of. It's very traditional. It's very middle of the road. It's nothing that I found like to be extravagant by any stretch. There's a few flavors that I don't mind. I like the iced raspberry. I like the lemon cocktail. They have a Hawaii flavor that I thought was pretty good as
Hawaii
well.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Hawaii.
I thought it was really good, but it's not necessarily something that like I've fallen in love with. It's something that I have some Adalia with me, and I do smoke it from time to time, but it's nothing that I go out of my way to talk about or do a lot of stuff with, just because it's not something that speaks to me personally. It's not something that I use on a regular basis, obviously.
Does it come in the States as red or blonde?
Yeah, it comes red.
In Europe, it comes sometimes in red, but mostly in a blonde leaf now. So the one that we smoke is blonde.
I love that. That's crazy. I think we need to start using the terminology red leaf tobacco, because it's as meaningful as dark leaf tobacco. It's just something that we use to just talk about the color of the tobacco, because there is no actual dark leaf tobacco. In case anyone doesn't know, the way that we use these terminologies is just to represent the way that the actual tobacco looks to us. but
Yeah.
it's not like it. The only way to make dark leaf tobacco is to fire cure it, and very few brands actually fire cure. Most of it's made out of Virginia tobacco, and then they use black strap molasses, and that's what actually creates it as a dark leaf tobacco. I have no problem with using the term dark leaf tobacco. I don't like it when we use it to like try and separate it from something else. The term dark leaf tobacco basically means unwashed tobacco. That's why you get a little bit more of a buzz in comparison to smoking blonde leaf tobacco, which is much more heavily washed as well. There's your little bit of knowledge for today's episode. We did get a question from the chat, actually. It's from Who Canadian. He says, if you could make your own tobacco, what would be the name, tobacco type, and flavor profile?
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought this was a good one to ask. I've not thought about it intently. I would probably call my hookah tobacco Morning Hookah, just because I think that's a pretty good name. I think that's a decent name. And I would go with something like a rose, a grape, and a guava in a mix.
Yeah.
There you go. I'd go fruity, sweet, and maybe a little minty floral.
For me, it's a bit of a funny one because here in the UK, we have a lot of flavors that are inspired by famous drinks, famous desserts and stuff like that. And I'll probably call it Shisha Central tobacco. And one drink that I can't have enough of, which is really bad to say, but is obviously you guys know Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew? I don't know what that is.
Dew, don't you have it? I swear you have it in the States.
I've
I'm
never
not sure
heard of this before. Dew?
Mountain Dew.
Oh, Mountain Dew.
That's it.
I was like, what is Mountain Dew? I don't know what this is, man.
Yeah,
okay. Mountain Dew. Okay.
I thought you had it there because I thought it came from America, but yeah, I'll probably have that flavor because it's quite juicy, it's different, and yeah, I'll probably go for something like that.
Okay, cool. Mountain Dew. A Mountain Dew flavor. I like Shisha Central. That's a good name. You know what? Both of our brand names are that's how you can tell it's a good brand name, because it would totally work for a tobacco brand.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've done this pretty good. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're rounding out towards the end of the episode. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for watching and being a part of the show, asking so many great questions, being in the chat, being active in the chat. Make sure you go and check out morninghookah.com. We do have a winner to give away for the dark side, but I want the contest to be open for just a little bit longer. So if you have not entered, if you're from the US, please enter !enter to enter into the dark side giveaway, giving away 2 flavors of dark side tobacco. We're going to give away Space Dessert, which is the tiramisu flavor, which I absolutely love, and then also Supernova, which is the super cooling flavor. It's not mint, it is just purely cooling flavor. While we wait for the entries to get closed down, I definitely want to ask you another question, because you recently went to Hookah Club Show that happened over in Russia. I want to hear your thoughts about Hookah Club Show and what it was like, and how it's different from other hookah shows that you yourself have been to.
No worries. So Hookah Club Show, I can just say that is the best hookah show in the world at the moment, in my opinion. I haven't been to any in the States, so I can't comment on that. But in terms of Germany and around the world elsewhere, I've been to all of them. So Hookah Club Show, the sheer size of it will blow you away. They have 2 halls this year, and the halls were huge. Like the same, it's like half of that hall is like what a lot of other places have for their main hall. You know what I mean? Obviously, mostly Russian brands are there. Lovely people. Russia's a great place to go and visit if you haven't visited it. Loads of tobacco to try, loads of freebies that they give away, and loads of entertainment. You know, you had the hookah battle there. You can watch and chill and watch the hookah battle. Then you had some industry influencers give some speeches as well, and you also got some good insight into all different hookah markets around that area of the world. You know, a lot of people from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, interacted with a lot of people from everywhere. So it's good for networking. So I'll definitely recommend it for you guys. I don't know from the States how much it costs to get to Russia, probably quite a bit. But obviously from the UK, it's only £100 for the ticket. Hotels are dirt cheap, £20, $20, $30 a night. And that's a decent hotel. It's not like really bad. So yeah, great weekend away.
It's my plan. It is my plan next year to go to Hookah Club Show. That is the biggest thing that I am planning. There's a couple other places in the U.S. that I want to be able to attend and make it, obviously. I always will go to Hookah Expo, as long as there's nothing that stops me from being able to attend it, I'll always go to Hookah Expo. I want to make sure that if there's any other big expo type things that happen in the U.S., that I also attended as well. But next year, I would love to go to Shisha Messe. I think that'd be really cool to go to Germany.
Yeah, also a very good show.
But I also really want to go to Hookah Club Show. That's my big place that I really, really plan on going is Hookah Club Show. It's so important for me to make it out there. I want to go to Russia. I think it'd be such a cool, fun experience. And then to go to that actual expo and stuff, that whole show would be just, oh man, it'd be phenomenal. Every time I watch all the videos.
The show was great, but the after parties were amazing. We went to the Alfaka after party, by far one of the best parties I've been to. You also had the Dark Side party that went on, and just the lounges. So many lounges there, which are so cheap. Like you're paying £8 to £10, which is like $15-12 for good hookah, which is the best thing. So and the flavor master comes to you, asks which preference you want. It's a whole experience going to Russia itself. So it's good to.
I love that in Russia and stuff they have shisha masters and hookah masters. Like they have a very strict terminology for the respect that they have for people that pack really good hookahs. Do they have that in the UK as well? We don't have that in America. We don't have hookah masters or shisha masters.
This is something I'm trying to do here in the UK now, because obviously I have a lot of friends who work at shisha lounges and they pack bowls, and a few of them are very keen to learn different techniques and about different tobaccos. So slowly I'm trying my best to maybe do a little small event here for UK Hookah Masters. Let's see how it goes. I think it'll get quite a lot of attention because a lot of these Hookah Masters and people who work at lounges, they build such good networks with their customers. So everyone knows them, And if he stops working at one lounge, they'll all follow him to the next lounge. So they're not loyal to the lounge, they're loyal to the staff that work at the lounge.
I think that terminology would come in handy. Like I really do. I think that would be a turning point for a lot of markets and industries if we created something that was professional in the world of hookah. I think that's something that would really benefit hookah in America. It would benefit it in the UK. It would benefit it anywhere. If you take it serious and you make it a profession, that would help it a lot, in my opinion. So I would love to see that happen. So we're going to go ahead and close the entries right now for the Dark Side. And we're going to go ahead and pick the winner of the Dark Side Tobacco. Let's see who is the winner. The winner is going to be Larry. Congratulations, Larry. You are the winner of the Dark Side Tobacco. Larry, if you could please send me a DM on Facebook so I can get your shipping information, I would really appreciate that. And that's the way that I can actually send you the stuff that you're winning right now. So if you could, Larry, please hit me up and send me your information so I can get these Dark Sides sent out to you. It is Supernova and Space Dessert. I really hope that you enjoy them. I know that there's a lot of talk and a lot of interest when it comes to Dark Side, so I'm interested to get it in as many hands as possible. So congratulations, Larry, on winning that, and I will talk to you after the show and get this sent over to you as soon as possible. Yeah. I think that is just about it for the show, unless you have any final questions that you'd like to ask me.
Yeah. What's next for Morning Hookah? What you got planned, man? I know you're a very busy guy. Oh, doorbell rang. But yeah, what is next for Morning Hookah? What are you looking to accomplish by the end of this year?
Oh boy, what is next for Morning Hookah? Well, the thing that's next for Morning Hookah is taking it to space. No, I'm just kidding. The thing next for Morning Hookah is doing a lot more live content. I want to start doing a lot of fun, interesting things, including gaming. I want to start a lot of gaming and stuff like that. I want to keep doing the live shows that I'm doing like I am here. I do that on Saturdays for the Morning Hookah show. And I want to do just really, my big plan for Morning Hookah is to do focused months of brands or products. So the month of April is mainly all about Dark Side Tobacco. I'm going to be doing all the reviews and videos that I'm posting is all going to be about Dark Side Tobacco. And then next month, the idea is to do a Tangiers month. That's the idea for next month. So I want to do really heavily focused months where I can get out a lot of content and a lot of information about certain brands and really try to cater towards, I feel my audience really enjoys very focused discussions. I feel like they really enjoy breaking down, getting to the nitty gritty, and talking about a lot of this informational stuff when it comes to, the deep dive stuff, the cuts, the flavors, the packing, all that kind of stuff. I really want to do very in-depth type of content for this sort of stuff. Who Canadian says, I want to be on your show. Well,
sounds good.
What I should do is I should set up a point system. So if you get so many points, you can be a guest on the show.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. Hear that, Hookah Canadian? All you got to do is keep earning a whole lot of points, and once you get to a certain point amount, then you can be a guest on the show. That is going to go up in the loyalty store. So make sure you head on over to morninghookah.com because it's going to be on there, and that'll be your opportunity to be on the Morning Hookah show is by gaining some points. And the best thing about the bowls, the points, is you don't have to buy anything to earn the points. You just have to participate in the actual show itself. That's all you got to do. So, all right, I think that's going to do it for us. Adam, I can't tell you enough how thankful I am to have you on the show today and to be talking to you about all the fun stuff that we've been able to communicate about. Where can the people find you on the internet?
So, guys, you can find me at Shisha Central on Instagram. You can also go onto my YouTube channel /Shisha Central. And if you're looking to get in some UK groups and have a bit of discussion there, you can always hit up the Shisha Source on Facebook as well. That's where you can find me. Matt, it's been a pleasure coming on the show. I remember watching your podcast a few years back on AM Hookah. So I've always wanted to come on the show. So thanks a lot for inviting me, man. I really appreciate it. And keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing great things in the US. I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show, but when it comes to bloggers in the US, the amount of knowledge you have and how much you go in depth is really good to see. Even I learned quite a lot of good things from you. So thanks a lot for doing it.
I really do appreciate that. Thank you, man. I really, really do appreciate that a lot. Yeah, you can find me right here on youtube.com/morninghookah. You can also find me on instagram.com/morninghookah as well. Join the fun stuff that we're doing here on the YouTube show, on the morning shows on Saturday. Hopefully we'll be doing some more live shows as well, including some video game tournaments. We did a really cool Smash Brothers tournament a month back ago, and I'd like to do a lot more tournament stuff as well. Maybe some fighting games, like some Street Fighter and stuff like that. Maybe some Mario Kart. Like there's all sorts of fun stuff that we can put together and do some really cool stuff, and hopefully some really neat prizes as well. Big shout out to the people over at Hookah University. Really appreciate them. Big shout out to the Shisha Source on Facebook as well. Appreciate the community that you're building and all the other people that are watching and joining along with all the fun stuff that we're doing. I really do appreciate it a ton. And I think that's going to do it for us today. I hope you guys are able to enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the hookahs that you're smoking, and all the other fun stuff that is happening in your lives. Try to stay safe and enjoy your Easter weekend as well. And until next time, keep on smoking. Bye.
See you guys.
I came back to life after a long black gap of what might have been a million